Yeah, I had no idea this is even a thing. But reverse ATMs take bills, dispense cards as stores go cashless. Now,
I have a love affair with cardboard at this point.
we're gonna be fine, Fitz. Come on, dude. Seriously.
Don't. Do not throw Kamala at me right now.
It's gonna be fine. Kamala is good. She's our AI czar.
She couldn't make a fire with a lighter.
If she interacted with AI would cease to exist. Like you're gonna have a salmon coming out of your ass.
Sure, salmon or grouper. They call it the grouper, so it's gonna be. I'm gonna have a grouper shit.
It's 30 feet high. It's a 30-foot high dick.
You're about to listen to Whiskey Hell Podcast, a show centered on recent news, excellent craft beer, and absolute debauchery. While the guys are getting ready, you can reach them on Twitter at whiskey_hell. You can also go to the whiskeyhellpod.com or email them at whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. At the end, be sure to drop them a review as a thank you for the content. Looks like they're ready. Enjoy the show, and listener discretion is advised.
Saturday night, May 6th, 8:18 in the evening. We got a little late start, but your news show is here. This is Whiskey Hell. How you doing, Fitz?
I am I'm here. I'm good. I'm good. It was God, this seemed like a long week, didn't it? Is it just me? It just seemed like a long week.
No, it wasn't just you. It was a long week. It was a kind of a scattered week news-wise. I know for all of us, we all had different shit going on that didn't allow us to, like, just... There was no natural flow to it. That's what it was. There was no natural flow to it.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. We like you said, we all kind of had busy weeks in different ways. Hefe had a medical procedure, which I know we will be getting to later. You had sons graduating high school, which is just crazy to me. And I had a 3.5 hour job interview that, dude, I cannot tell you how well I slept last night. I was gassed. I was tired. But that all being said, we just were like on our chat, we were just throwing up news stories at each other. Like there was no comment on it. It's just, here, look at this. Here, look at that. Here, read that. Can you believe this shit's going on? And so if the show kind of feels that way, it's because we literally have not discussed any of that stuff until tonight. But man, it was another busy one. Again, the doc is full. We have lots to get to. Very excited to get to as much as we can. I mean, some of it's absolutely ridiculous, and other stuff you just need to know.
Yep, exactly. But we got a good balance of ridiculousness and news. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to absolving us of all of our sins this week, drowning ourselves in some beers.
Yeah, absolving us of all of our sins. Ay. That's gonna take a lot of beer, dude. That's going to take a lot of beer.
Oh, well, we're going to give it a shot anyway. I don't think there's any ghost of a chance that we're going to. I'm just talking about this week, though. Not like everything ever. Because there ain't nothing we can drink that's going to absolve us of that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, I was going to say that's going to have to be some mighty potent holy water there. Ay.
Maybe we should start selling Whiskey Hell holy water.
Whiskey Hell holy water. That has some interesting connotations to it. I like it, but it wouldn't be a whiskey, which would be funny.
No, yeah,
I
it probably wouldn't.
I think it should be more like a moonshine, like a bathtub full grain moonshine.
I'm down with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right. I are we ready to jump into beers here? Because I'm not only am
Yeah.
I anxious to start drinking, but I I think I have chosen poorly. Do you remember that scene in Indiana Jones? And it was the third one. So I think it was the Last Crusade
Okay.
with his dad, who was played by the late great Sean Connery.
Sean Connery,
Yeah,
gosh.
so one of my favorite of the Indiana Jones series. It was just really brilliantly done, and their relationship was really cute. But there's a point in there where they have to choose the holy chalice, the chalice of Christ, chalice of Christ to save his dad,
Right.
and so the different Nazis go up and try and choose, and the Knight Templar that's there, he says, "You have chosen poorly," and then he withers away and dies, and so that's all an intro to say I feel like I have chosen poorly. I
Well,
don't think I chose the chalice of Christ here. But I had to buy this one, dude, because it's just so strange. And then after I opened it and just poured it into my glass, it's even weirder. So first of all, let's get to it. All right. This
all
is
right.
from Mortalis Brewing. Apparently they're an outfit out of New York. I've never heard of them before, but here we are. Mortalis Brewing, and this is from Hawaii with Love. That's the name of the beer. Okay, so are you ready for this? Listen. Stout brewed with pineapple, coconut, and coffee.
Really?
So I had to try it. Well, I open it up and I'm pouring it out. It's a blonde stout. So it's going to be even weirder.
You got a golden. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You've got the golden Labrador of stouts. That's fantastic. All right.
Yeah. So I just hope it's a 7%er. So I mean, if it sucks, I can just slam it. And at least the ABV
right.
will start to take over. But anyway, here we go. Wish me luck.
All right, hit it. So you guys can go to mortalisbrewing.com.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, what is that?
Oh no.
Second week in a row, dude. Second week I'm getting hosed. Oh, that's terrible.
Oh no, that's not good.
Oh, McShane, it's like a sour stout.
Okay,
and so
walk me through that, because that doesn't make any sense at all.
No, I'm literally breaking out into a cold sweat here, thinking about having to drink this again. So when you first take the first sip, it's a sour. I mean, it just kind of hits you all up on the front of your tongue, just like you're eating like a Sour Patch Kid.
Okay.
Super sour. But then you let it you get the mouthfeel, which is very thin and fizzy. And then you swallow it, and then you get this nutty aftertaste, like the nutty stout aftertaste. It's really fucking weird, man. This is weird.
Oh, that's not good.
Who thought of this? And why?
So that's not something that's going to warm up, it sounds like, and be better.
I'm not going to allow it to warm up. I am slamming this fucking thing. Whoa.
Is it a 3-beer night?
Oh, no. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I always have my side bitch. So that can fill in if I need it to, but this is really heinous. And I don't say that very often. I'm not over exaggerating here, guys. I'm not even saying Mortalis fucked this one up. I'm just saying this is not a stout, first of all, and second of all, it's not enjoyable for me. I don't like it. I'm sure someone out there loves it.
I still can't wrap my head around that. That's bizarre.
Dude, it's just oh, sorry. It's really weird. It's really hard to drink. Especially, like you're sitting down, with your buddy,
Right.
or maybe you're out on a date, and one of you orders an iced tea and one of you orders a Coke, and you pick a glass up thinking you're getting one thing, but you get the other.
Oh,
And so that might be what's going on here too, is that I was expecting a stout flavor, and that sour just punched me right in the back of the throat. Man, it's
wow. All right.
weird.
No, this is
Weird
why we
beer.
do the show. This is one of the reasons why we do the show. So
Yeah. Well, anyway, what do you have going on over there? Actually, I know what you have going on over there. I'm very excited for you. This is awesome. Which one are you drinking first?
pretty stoked.
Yeah.
So Moose Lounge, we're doing a beer exchange, and we mentioned that I think the last show or the show before that. I have 4 gems, and I already put those out online today. But for anybody who has not seen the video, this is West 6th Brewing Pay It Forward. It's a cocoa porter.
Nice.
Super stoked. I'm on the website now. You guys can go to west6th.com for Pay It Forward. And what they say about the beer, it's like their nonprofit beer. It's pretty cool. Here at West 6th, we focused on giving back at least 6% of our profits each year, powered by our giving arm, the 6th for a Cause Foundation. We believe it's important as a for-profit business to support financially and physically nonprofits in our communities. As we move into 2022, we're excited to officially launch our expanding giving and choose great groups as recipients of our Pay It Forward Cocoa Porter Give Back. Thank you for the support. Please nominate a Kentucky nonprofit today. So you can nominate different nonprofits. They don't talk about the beer itself really on the website, but it's a cocoa porter, so we know what the features are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So we're just looking at it from what their features, how they present it. So it should be
Now that's really cool. I mean, not only that brewery, did that beer, but also that's one of the ones that Moose Lounge decided to shoot your way. That's really cool. Well done, guys. Even if the beer sucks, which I'm sure it doesn't, but that's a really cool. That's a noble cause, and we're all about those.
No, it totally are. It is dry. It is totally a porter. You get more of a dark cocoa taste.
Okay.
So it's not like super, not super chocolatey. You just get, it's dry, smells good.
Less desserty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is an everyday drinker. This is a porter that you keep in the house. You keep a 4-pack or a 6-pack of this on site, and it's super good. Really, really
And
good.
it's not one of those that it tastes like they just added in some Nestle Quick at the end of the brewing process. This is actually tastes like chocolate. Yeah. Nice.
It definitely has. It definitely is, but it's not overpowering though, right? It's rather than just being a malty porter, it does have some chocolate notes, and it's honestly the dry, like cocoa powder, like fresh cocoa powder. That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're
nice. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before on the show, but sometimes you'll get a chocolate porter or a chocolate stout, and it's like they took a beer that might have been a solid beer, but then they just threw in some Nestle Quick chocolate syrup in it or something. The chocolate tastes fake. It's not real cocoa. It's not real beans that they're putting in there. So I always, good on any brewery that's actually doing it right and putting in the actual good stuff. So
yeah, no, this is good. This is a very well finished beer too. Really, really happy to be starting off with that. So please, check out the Moose Lounge podcast.
Yeah,
you guys
good
can go
guys.
to Spotify, YouTube. They're on Apple. It's at the Moose Lounge 1 on Twitter. Make sure you've got the 1 in there, because there's some other folks that are not them. So that 1 does make a difference there. So please check them out. And thank you guys for the first beer. And I'm super stoked for the second beer too. But I like how we're starting off.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very, very cool.
All right. So housekeeping wise, I don't know that we really have anything that we need to get into. We didn't really, again, weird week. We didn't engage a ton online. Just taking a spin through some of the stuff that we did have. It wasn't really eventful. It wasn't like we had a ton of news that we really wanted to get feedback on, because some of it was just so ridiculous. Was there anything that stood out to you that really need to go back over?
No, not at all. I mean, other than the news stories we're going to cover and kind of our commentary, back and forth with everybody on that. I will say though that the same frequent flyers that we have engagement with on Twitter, I just love you guys, every one of you. I mean, just even where there was somebody put up like, what was your favorite movie by this actor? And it was Gary Oldman, and I said The Professional. I mean, that's my favorite movie that he was ever in. And somebody, I forget who it was. I should get it right here. We're actually recording a show, but anyway, someone was like, "Oh yeah, I was going to answer that too," and then I saw your name on there. I'm like, "Yes, of course, Fitz would pick The Professional." So even we're just kind of cross pollinating that way too, just finding random,
I think
posts
it was
out there.
Barcelona, wasn't it? Barcelona.
Oh yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not so big no on Twitter. Barcelona Red, always very supportive, always chiming in. So thank you.
Good stuff
for that.
So anyway, it was a good week for that. I thought there was a lot of engagement, even though we were somewhat distracted by other things. It was just God, we love the engagement. We're trying to give it back too. But just that reciprocating. It's fun. It's a nice conversation.
Yep, totally. I hate it. Let's watch it. The podcast. Thank you for including us in your circles. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
So let's go ahead and get into our first news. I think that's going to be okay. I know we've got a Hefe sighting coming up here in a few minutes, but we got a lot to get into, and just we'll just keep cruising.
Yep, love it.
Hey, did you know the Kremlin was attacked this week?
Was it?
Yeah, let's watch the attack. Here it is. This is on Inside Paper, and there it is. Okay.
Boom. I actually,
what the fuck?
I don't. Okay. So everybody, the news sources out there, and I guess it's hard for me to even choke that term out, but
right.
They were saying that this was an attempt on Putin's life.
That's so not.
And I'm sorry, but if that had hit my house, I might have had a small roof fire, but I'd have been just fine. And he's in a giant fucking palace protected by, anti-aircraft and who knows how many guards. I don't see this as like, I mean, yes, there's an explosive, and yes, somebody really hated that flag and burned it to shit.
That's it, though.
That's all that happened. That is all that happened. The flag. Someone was like, "Fuck that flag."
Just to set the scene, you've got this. It's so amazing that somebody had a camera ready just for this.
Yes, they did.
First of
You
all.
bet. You bet.
You've got the parade ground around the Kremlin, which that's a weird flex. It's May 3rd. You haven't cleaned that up. I know May Day was a thing. And they were attacking on May Day. But this is just ridiculous. The fact that anybody is taking this seriously. It's the equivalent of somebody hitting a fly with one of those electric bug zappers.
That's exactly what it looks like too. Just kind of like zzz, I mean, it's gone. And apparently what they want us to believe is this was an attack drone. A drone with explosives on it, I guess. Which, that's not the best use of a drone, I wouldn't think. I mean, is it? I mean,
no.
Even if you packed this thing with C4, you're not, and I don't mean like a drone, like one of those drones we had flying over Afghanistan and Iraq. I'm talking about one of those little 4 propeller ones that you can buy off of Amazon for $8.99.
Right.
So even if you pack the thing with C4, you're not getting through anything around that pal. I don't know. So anyway, the powers that be want us to believe this was an assassination attempt. And so then the Kremlin has to fire back and say, well, this can't be tolerated. We now need to take out Zelensky. And so it was this weird, I mean, can you even call it saber rattling?
No, it was very amateur.
It was amateur. It was juvenile. I mean, it could have been some, upset Russian teenager who bought this drone and flew it over Putin's place just to see if he could. I mean, right. To call this an assassination attempt. I mean, and I guess here in this country we're a little jaded because we've seen some proper assassinations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the attempt on Reagan's life. I mean, that was an assassination attempt for sure. Yeah. He meant to do bodily harm to that man. This was weak, and I'm I don't know. But so what's weird is the week started off with Twitter was blowing up that all of the air raid sirens in the entire of Ukraine were going off,
and there were nukes loaded. And there was nukes loaded by Russia.
Yes. Yeah. And that they had fired missiles, right? I mean, we heard they had fired missiles. And then there were reports, people were saying, well, 230 missiles were shot, and of those 230, 226 of them were shot down. And then I heard up to 400 and some were fired, and I mean, the numbers, people, you could at some point, oh my God, at some point you just go, okay, everybody now is just blowing their load of all the lies that they've kept, been saving up. They blew their load on this one because it never fucking happened. I mean, clearly, because Ukraine is still there.
Oh, absolutely. But the credit that I thought was funny was that, well, the Patriot system must be doing such a fantastic job.
Yeah, right.
Nobody else reported. All you had was these random indies reporting it. There was nothing on any of the mainstreams, which, okay, they've kind of shifted their gaze to something else that's more important for them. They don't want to talk about Ukraine since nobody gives a shit anymore. But it was just bizarre. If it was that big of a deal, you would have thought there would have been a lot more to see. And by the end of the week, it was just like, nobody cares about your narrative.
It's fucking
anymore.
crickets.
It's just over.
It was crickets. It was weird. So that happens, but then this quote unquote assassination attempt,
right?
Then who was it from the Kremlin comes out and says, well, we now need to take out, this guy here, Deputy Chairman of the Russian Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, which I love saying that dude's name, has stated today that the attempted drone assassination on President Putin last night by Ukraine leaves the Russian military with no other choice than to, quote unquote, eliminate Ukrainian President Zelensky and his cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. And yet, yeah, right. That was his statement, and here we are.
Then the U.S. comes out with their statement saying basically, well, the Kremlin's lying.
Yeah. The U.S. had no role in this, and that was my first call too. When I saw all the Twitter chatter coming out, I was like, somebody said, "Oh, Ukraine has made an attempt on Putin's life," and I was like, "Hold on, you're completely glossing over the fact that maybe the CIA or Mossad or some other MI6
or Russia, that could have been a false flag by Russia too.
You bet, or that too. But no, for sure, this was Zelensky with his hands on the controller, piloted this thing all the way from Kiev to Moscow, and had a near miss. Come on, and then the week wraps up with Zelensky meeting. Level with me. Is Zelensky a midget? Is he a small person?
He is a very small person. Yes.
Either that or everybody who works for BlackRock is like 6'8", which I don't think they are. I don't think BlackRock only hires 6'8" plus. Not. So anyway, then he meets with the heads, the administration of BlackRock, which I thought was, that's suspect, right? That
a little bit, yeah.
That smells like poo. That smells like what my beer tastes like.
It used to be that you'd never see this part of it, right? You would see
Yes.
you'd see a war. So we'd go into Afghanistan or Iraq, right? And then we would put out all of these construction bids to rebuild, quote unquote, rebuild, right, the country. So you would contract out to all of your BlackRocks and Halliburtons and all those construction companies, oil, right? You would never see that BlackRock just walks in like diplomats and they're saving Zelensky, apparently. I didn't get to watch the video, but this was a fantastic find.
Well, and I guess what is striking to me is you have to remember these are private citizens. I mean, they're just people.
Yep.
They're just dudes like you and me. Nobody elected them. Nobody nominated them. They just worked their way up in this company or were hired by this company, and they make gobs of money. Right. And so they fly over to a war zone,
right?
Because Ukraine's a war zone.
Allegedly.
They fly over there and have a meeting with a sitting president. Comedian or not, he is the sitting president. Right. And talk to him about how they're going to help him rebuild his country. Very good point that you brought up. Like this shit was all behind the curtains. The wizard was still behind the curtain, and we never knew who was running Oz. It just sort of happened later. It came out in, tax filings and things like that. Oh, Halliburton just, basically funded the entire Iraqi war. But this is like out in front, BlackRock, you're signing your soul away to the devil on camera. I mean, in front of the whole world. We're watching it happen.
Yep, we totally are. So yeah, weird. So the Ukraine was very interesting this week.
Yeah.
The economy, we're still here, I think, right? We're still here.
We're still here. It's a I still feel like, well, okay, so let's go with the, we had the jobs report come out this week, jobs report from March. We had the Fed predictably hiked rates 25 basis points, which we all knew they were going to do. But again, you're starting to see some division here, and I want to get into this. Let's get to the stories that we have, but there's a few people coming out, one of which is angry bingo grandma, Janet Yellen. She look like an angry bingo grandma?
Oh, she totally does.
She came out and said, I don't think the Fed should have raised the rates like that. She thinks that that's wrong. And there's a few other politicians coming out now and starting to say, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, we can get into all that, but
Warren came out.
That's right.
I Hate Crypto came out and did it.
That's right. Elizabeth Warren. Hey, we do have a Hefe sighting here, which just absolutely warms my heart.
Cockles.
My cockles. So Hefe,
yeah.
Given your history, how's your bunghole doing?
Oh, it's doing very nicely. Very nicely. It was sore for like a day and a half. But I've got a burning question.
Okay. Shoot.
Pun intended. What is it called when you can't tell if a person is a man or a woman? And I don't mean like transitioning or transgender or anything like that. I just mean they have just gone through life and the hair is, doesn't give it away. It's either short or shoulder length, and the face doesn't give it away. There's no facial hair. There's no bone structure giving it away. There's tits, but it could be man tits. And just nothing. There were shorts and a t-shirt, and there's nothing giving me any hints as to what you are. What is that? Is there a name for that?
I mean, that's androgyny. When you're androgynous, you're kind of both, but you're neither.
Yeah.
And all I can think about, I was laughing while you're describing this because all I can think about was that SNL skit that went on for years. It's Pat.
Yeah.
It's Pat.
and the whole premise of the skit was everybody was trying to figure out if Pat was a man or a woman.
Yep. And I remember one is he said Pat said my significant other is here. And like, I'd like to meet them. This is Francis.
Yeah. And they were just as androgynous.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't I don't know if that, I mean, just hear me out, okay? There would be a certain level of anonymity of just kind of walking through life and being completely unmemorable. You know what I mean? Like people would be like, "Oh, you remember that guy that was at the party?" And they'd be like, "Well, no, I don't remember the guy. There was a woman there." And they'd be like, "Well, no, but what were they wearing?" Well, I don't really remember. You know, you just could go through life and no one would have any actual memory of anything you said or did.
I kind of do that sometimes.
Like you just become the gray man.
I just, yeah, I just kind of blend and slide by.
Yeah, but people would remember you being at a party. I mean, they would remember a guy being at a party.
Yeah.
Especially if you're drinking. I mean, and I mean, present company included. I'm not. I mean, we have some stories from Vegas we still haven't told yet. We'll just put it that way.
Drinking a screwdriver, the vodka with a splash of orange juice.
Yeah, that was like a slightly tinged orange glass of vodka.
So tell us why the question? What came up tonight?
Oh, I just saw one. They walked by my table and they had the shoulder length, thin brown hair and the, white, just pale face and just like the kind of overbite kind of cleft thing going and red t-shirt, brown shorts.
You just described a Simpsons character.
Yes, exactly. And had, like a maybe a B cup going. And I was just looking like, just waiting for anything to be like, Dad, there, that's okay. So it's a woman or it's a man. And then there's nothing. Just walked right by and just kept walking. I kept staring and waiting and nothing. I still don't know.
I mean, and I have met a few of those people in my life. And I mean, it's, they're not like you would remember them. You would be able to pick something out if they were really ugly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if they were just not pleasing to look at, you would remember that. Right. But they're also not beautiful where you'd remember that. They're just caught somewhere they're like a 5, like the typical, like an androgynous 5, which like I would much rather be myself, like a male 3, because then at least people know like who I am and that I'm a dude. But when people are guessing, although that could be a fun game to play, I think. Like, well, what do you think I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrong.
Just fuck with people. I mean, you know how
you probably have to find out the right answer to get an answer to the game, and that's risky.
It is. You know, one way you could do it, Hefe, is, just as they're walking away, sir, and if they turn around, then you got it. And if they don't, then you'll say, ma'am. Like, you just, they're going to turn around to one of them, right?
What if they turn around to both?
Well,
today's day and age depends on the day.
So you have a sir for a man. You have a ma'am for a woman. What if they are a they them? Is it just like you would say, Mr. Fitz. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tricky one. And I guess it's not really for you to find out, I guess. I mean, who gives a shit at the end of the day?
True.
It's funny is I got your screen minimized right now. And so I can just see, I was like, is that fucking asshole Jamie Dimon, the face maker? I zoomed in, Janet Yellen.
Yeah, it's Janet Yellen, America's favorite angry bingo grandma.
Oh my gosh, that lady.
She, you know what? She just has one of those faces. And I'm not going to go there, okay, everybody? I'm not going there. I'm not going to go with the resting bitch face. That's not what I'm saying. But she has one of those faces where you just know when she turns, like when she's mad, you're fucked. Like she's coming at you with every bit of fury she has in her bones. She just doesn't look like a happy person. And then if you cross that line, she's chopping off your dick.
Oh boy.
I don't know where you go from there. I think I
don't know either.
I think I just killed that one.
Well, I wasn't ready for the Pat conversation. You again, Hefe, you have definitely come in with all guns blazing. So we appreciate that.
Caught you off guard a little bit.
A little bit. We were all set for colonoscopy talk. Colonoscopy corner with Hefe.
We could talk Hefe's ass if you guys want to.
No, we can go anywhere you want. That's how this works.
We briefly mentioned it at the top of the show, just that you had a medical procedure done, and I'm, we're glad everything's fine. One thing that would be interesting to talk about was the other procedure you had done on your other end that actually has been a huge positive for you.
Penis enlargement. Oh, you mean the other
end.
No, the thing going on with your throat, not the that helped your gag reflex. Yes.
Yeah, that's oh my gosh, life changer, man.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it had been going on that long.
Well, it was.
So just for the kids at home, this wasn't allowing you to eat like regular food. I mean, you had to be really careful about what you're eating, right?
Yeah, and I'm not good at being careful, so I'd keep eating things that and sometimes it was just really weird. Sometimes it wouldn't have that effect. Sometimes I could eat whatever I wanted to, but most of the time, it would come back to get me. And I've gone to the doctor and they're like, oh, it's a reflex thing. You need to stop eating spicy or stop eating fatty or whatever. But like, I think I told you guys that once it happened with baby carrots, where it just basically what it is that I start eating and it feels like stuff starts getting caught like right around my Adam's apple, right in that area. And like food just sits there and it doesn't go down. And then sometimes I just got to stop, and sometimes it'll just go all of a sudden, and I'm fine. But other times it just stays there, and then my body starts to say, okay, you got to throw up. And so I fight it, and sometimes it still goes away, but then there's other times where it just won't go away, and I've got to go and puke it up to clear my throat. And it's just been happening more and more. And so this one office a couple of years ago wanted to do the esophagus balloon thing where they kind of stretch it out with a balloon. And I said,
Hefe's being very technical here. For everybody at home keeping score, basically what they do is they make balloon animals inside your throat. So that's basically what it is.
And I said, I do it, but they said I had to quarantine for like a week. This is back during COVID.
Quarantine? Oh, right. I was like, quarantine, but
yeah, I can't miss a week of work. So I was like, nah, pass on that. And so then it came up again, colonoscopy deal. And I said, yeah, let's try it. And came out of there. And it's definitely a changer. It's night and day. I can eat anything I want now, which is dangerous, but it's a really good feeling.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's awesome. I mean, I can't imagine not being able to basically eat what I want when I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been rough.
So you're on the table and they've got a probe in one end and a probe in the other end. It was like the medical Eiffel Tower that was being performed on you.
Yeah. I wish I could have been awake for it, really.
Did they did they meet in the middle, or
they didn't say, but the look on their faces told me otherwise. I mean, I'm pretty...
there was some happy doctors in that room, I'll bet.
Yeah, once I told them who I was, you know who I am?
Oh, like, yeah.
That's perfect.
Gotta go all the way.
Yeah, everyone wants a piece of Hefe. I mean, who doesn't?
So you didn't get the ritual fart expression at the end of your colonoscopy. I'm really sad that you didn't get to, because that was like a major thing for me.
I know. Unless I did it while I was still asleep, and they said that's good. I don't know, but I definitely don't remember doing that. It sucks.
And Buttercup wasn't in there with you at that point, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Once she went out, she was locked out, so she just had to wait for him.
You know, I don't want to get too technical here, but I think what happened there was because they had plugged up your throat. It equalized the pressure in your backside. So when everything got pulled out, it was like a vacuum, and so there was no fart.
Oh, maybe I farted out of my mouth.
God. Let's hope not.
I gotta go now.
All right. That's a perfect way to end. We'll see you in a bit, Hefe.
Yeah, it'll be either 40 or 60. I don't know.
All right.
All right.
We'll see when we see you then.
All right. See ya.
Wow.
All right.
I mean, I'm so thrilled for the guy that he can eat, you know? So that's it's just a positive experience all the way around. So I'm glad. Anyway, where were we? We were talking about Bingo Grandma, angry Bingo Grandma.
So Bingo Grandma, you know what? And here's the thing about this. She's just running her mouth just because she wants the debt ceiling to be put higher. But everybody keeps saying, well, the U.S. has never defaulted on any of our debts. We have like five different times.
Which isn't true. Yeah. Yeah. The fact checking feature on Twitter is great. People called out President Biden on that real quick. That was fun. That was fun to watch.
Tweet from President Biden on May 2nd. America is not a deadbeat nation. We've never, ever failed to pay our debt, but MAGA Republicans are engaged in reckless hostage taking by threatening to force America into default. It's dangerous and wrong.
Come on, man.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played. Yeah.
Which is false. We have defaulted. I think 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 times, and I think the most recent one was when Nixon took us off the gold standard.
Yeah, and I very, very clearly remember America's credit rating being downgraded from AAA plus down to AA plus because we had defaulted.
Yeah.
So anyway, politics aside, this actually, and again, every other time, I mean, we've raised the debt ceiling like 35 times in the last 20 years or something.
Well, that's all we do. We don't
Right.
balance the budget anymore. I think the last time we actually balanced the budget or even cut the budget, I think that was actually back in Clinton. So you guys can fact check me.
I think
on
you're right.
It too.
No,
I'm
no.
not positive about that, but
no, I'm pretty sure you're right.
He's not doing anything to balance the budget. He just wants more money. There's
Yeah.
nothing fiscally responsible about him. And oh yeah, thanks for sending $35.7 billion over to Ukraine.
That we know about.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, at this point, you know, I think I mean, our money is literally just monopoly money. I mean, it's prettier than monopoly money, but it's fake. It's not backed by anything. We all know the fractional reserve system in the banks and just all the flaws in our system. And sure, we can kick the can down the road and raise the debt ceiling again. I think there's enough people out there, and by people I mean politicians, who are saying no, we're not going to do it. And it's not because they think it's the right thing to do. It's because they know it's going to fuck the other side. Because the House did pass a bill that would raise the debt ceiling by, I think, 1.5 trillion, which only gets us to like March of next year or something. But it's dead on arrival when it gets to the Senate. And even if it does get through the Senate, Biden's already said he'll veto it. So, and guys, we run out of money June 1st. And so there's not much time to play politics here. And I understand, you know, they're going to play chicken and wait to see who flinches last. But if they wait too long on that, I mean, the last time the government shut down, it was a big deal. You know, libraries closed early. People weren't getting their pensions. You know, all the national parks closed.
Yep.
Mail wasn't getting where it needed to go. It's a big deal, guys. It's a really big deal. And it's not, and what sucks is they're playing politics with our futures. Like, it's not their future. They don't give a fuck. They're still going to get paid. You know they are.
Right.
It's our futures, our money, our economy, our 401ks that are going to take the hit to this.
Well, it's supposed to be our fucking government, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to be, sure. It's a representative republic. And it's failing. It's failing. And this is just one symptom, one way to prove that it's failing. Because we get this one-upsmanship, this gamesmanship over stuff that doesn't affect these people. They don't give a fuck. It affects us, and so they play their games, and it's all about optics. And it's really shameful. It's shameful. I still really want to believe in America and things that we stand for. What I don't believe is our government. I think our government is it's a disgrace. It's a laughing stock. And yet for some reason we're all, not all, but many of us are okay with it, and so it continues.
I don't know if there's a government around the world that isn't a laughing stock. France, total laughing stock. Canada, total laughing stock. Germany, not doing very much that makes any kind of sense. Russia sucks. China's a shit show. I think that's the point. They're going to do whatever they want and tell everybody else. That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
so for us to have this kind of a problem, we're struggling here. And just to fact check myself, it was 4 times, not 5. But the last time was 1971, and that was Nixon and going to the gold standard. But that's I don't. Where would you go? Where would we go? And I want to believe in America too. I can't believe in the government though. It's just such a shit show.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, that's a question honestly that I've honestly been asking myself, and people that I love and care about. Where do we go if things really just get to a point of no return here? Where do you go? I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I think there's a lot of sort of half-ass answers that make some sense, but there's no place where you go, okay, I'm good here. They're not going to fuck with me. They're not going to take my money. They're not going to take my guns. They're not going to, mess with my whatever, my life. I don't really think there's any place like that left on earth, which is a really sad statement.
So this is something that bothered me a great deal.
Yes, nice find on this one. This is a great find.
Yeah, I had no idea that this is even a thing. But reverse ATMs take bills, dispense cards as stores go cashless. Now, this is actually the store they're showing here. This is an Axios article. The store they're showing here is actually in Toronto. It looks like it's the Toronto team shop, Toronto Blue Jays team shop.
Yep,
right?
at the baseball stadium. Yep.
But we've talked about this, that they want to get rid of cash. Governments want to get rid of cash. They want the CBDCs to be in. They want a currency in there that can be controlled much easier, and that they can track, and that they know who's got it and who's using it and what they're using it for. So now we've got ATMs that allow you to go ahead and bring in your money and put it into the ATM, and they give you back a card. And sometimes they're even charging you for it.
Yep, up to 5%. Yeah, and this, and what's even shittier about it is, like, let's say you walk into, the Blue Jays stadium, and you take your cash that you can spend anywhere, but you put it in that machine, and they give you a card back loaded with that much cash, but you can only spend it in that stadium. Yep. It's not good anywhere else. It's not like a Visa card. You can just take it out with you and spend it at the store. It's only good there. And you have all of these, major attractions like Six Flags and Disney, and different transit systems are doing it now. If you go to San Francisco, they're already doing this. If you want to ride the BART, you put your cash in, they give you a BART card, and that's how you get in and out of the the little turnstiles. So, and what sucks is if you have $1.50 left on this thing, you can't. It's really hard to spend it.
Yeah,
so they're just stealing your money, basically. That's that's what's happening here, on top of the fact that, as you said, they can trace and track every transaction, every single one, which is scary.
So something now that I've seen this, and this is something that I didn't put two and two together. Besides the fact that like Peter Piper Pizza, right, has been doing this for years now. But even like if we overpay, because it sometimes happens when you're paying for medical care, right? You go ahead and make your payment, you pay your copay, then the insurance goes in, does whatever they fucking do, and then suddenly you get back, 60, 80, whatever bucks from, Banner Healthcare, wherever you went to go, ER or whatever you're in there for. They're sending them back in Visa debit cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's send me a fucking check instead. But no, they're handing out these cards, and it's really concerning. What happens when your work goes ahead and say, you know what, we're not going to go and send it to your bank account, but here's our card that you can go ahead and use.
You bet. And
we'll just load your check to it.
That's actually happening right now. And in fact, one of my friends here, she's a vet tech. The big kind of national company came in and bought her little local, veterinarian practice that she works at, took it over, and they use a payment system where it's exactly what you just said. They load up your card. And on top of it, what's even scarier is you can go in there and it'll say, hey, you just got paid on Friday, but this is Wednesday. You've earned $180. So you can actually borrow against money that you haven't even been paid yet.
Not good.
You can borrow against that and pay a bill. And in one way you go, okay, well, I never get paid when my bills are due. So that's kind of nice. I can pay it when it's due. Right. On the other hand, you can really do some stupid shit and borrow way more than you're earning, or just constantly be enslaved because you're constantly trying to catch up for what you borrowed last week.
Yep.
I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today. Well, that's,
yes.
That's not how it fucking works, man.
No, but it's almost like they took the check cashing payday loan scam, and now they're applying it to everyday business.
It's exactly what they did. You're right. Oh God, that was a terrible beer, but it's done. I want to announce to everybody it's over. My torture is over. I'm never doing that again.
Well, it sounds like we both need a beer, because I actually finished mine also. Mine was a 12 ounce that I started off with. So yep. I'm ready to go ahead and dive into something else.
How did that finish?
Really good. I did super enjoy it. It's definitely one of the better porters that I've had. It's interesting because now I have this taste in my mouth that I'm constantly having to swallow. So I don't know if it's just like a weird aftertaste or something, but I mean, it's not unpleasant. It's definitely not unpleasant. So yeah, I enjoyed it.
Could be that that sticky after residue you get when you eat sweets or like chocolate, actual chocolate.
It could be.
Might be that.
Agreed. Well, let's go ahead and get into beer 2. And I got a hunch we made this may be a 3 beer night. So
I think you're right, because those first two went down real quick for us.
They really did.
And we still have a lot to get to.
All right. Well, let's see what kind of train wreck this turns into. We'll be right back. All right. So, beer 2. I'm going with Ruffian. This is an experimental Russian Imperial Stout. I like it when beer brewers throw that experimental on the top of them. I've seen it done a few times.
Yep, you always know you're getting something fun.
So I'm curious what their regular one is, because this one should be viscous, black. It's got about a 1/2 inch head on it.
Heyo, that's what she said.
Yes, sir. Beautiful beer.
Well, I'm not that I'm getting into it now, but I am so much more excited about my second beer than my first one.
Whoa. So I didn't set this up very well.
Yeah, so
Blue Stallion.
What do you got? Yeah, okay.
It's by Blue Stallion Brewing. I kind of just dived into it. And it is a Russian Imperial Stout, Kentucky Chewy Praline, 11%er. I can tell you right now, this is it's decadent, and it is clean. It's a clean beer. Finish is nice. Very candy-like. So let's go ahead and get out to the site here.
I don't know. I appreciate words. I like words. I wish I had a bigger vocabulary than I do. My vocabulary is okay, but when I meet somebody with like a superior vocabulary, I just like listening to them talk. And they,
Right.
not just they know the word, but that they use it in like everyday conversation. I love that. And so I just love the fact that they use the word chewy in that beer. That's just fucking cool. Yeah. That's a great word.
When I hear that, like somebody who's actually using a bit of their vocabulary, it's just nice to hear.
Agreed.
Because there's not a lot of that anymore.
Nope.
It really isn't.
It's a dying art, believe me.
It's like English is dying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's shit, dude. It's idiocracy. I mean, it's literally idiocracy in real time. We're watching it happen.
Yeah. No, it totally is.
Terrible.
So Blue Stallion Brewing, nice Russian Imperial Stout. Nutty, malty, very candy-like. It's not sweet, but the mouth feels it's like candy. It's a very interesting Russian Imperial Stout.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
All right, what do you got over there?
Well, okay. So my beer is from Montavia Brewworks, which I've never heard of them before. They are out of Portland, Oregon, so they must be relatively new. But Montavia, Montavilla, Montavia Brewworks. This beer is called Old Fellowship, and it is a barley wine style ale. 9.2%er. The American barley wine is deceptively strong and malty, yet medium-bodied and approachable. Ready to drink now and well-suited for cellaring if you want. The road goes ever on and on. So this is a ode to Tolkien and the Fellowship of the Ring, quoting some of his writing there. So let's give this one I already know I'm gonna love it. It poured just the most beautiful, like chestnut, brown. I mean, just a beautiful pour. Nice, liberal head on it, but the head's going down, and just sort of kind of sticking to the sides of the mug. So I already know I'm gonna love this thing.
So it's Old Fellowship 2023. It's 9.2 ABV, and it's an American barley wine.
Oh, that's a great barley wine. So one of the things that a lot of people miss on barley wines, because they tend to be higher ABV, so a lot of people get shocked by the booze up front. This one is not boozy up front, but what people miss is that nutty caramel undertone.
Right.
This thing, the malt in this is just superbly well done. Excellent beer. Really fun. I may be going to bed with this young lady here.
All right.
Wow. Man, what a relief. That first beer fucking almost
Saved
killed
your
me,
night?
dude. Yeah, it almost ended me. Yikes.
How boozy is that?
It's not. It's really not. There's a little boozy finish on the back end, as far as sort of getting up into your nostrils and the olfactory area there.
Right.
But up front, like I said, you just get that real creamy, caramely, nutty malt, which is it's smooth. Sometimes barley wines can have a bite to them, almost like a bitterness. This does not, and it says it's got 60 IBUs, which is that's a healthy. That's in the mid-range, upper mid-range. But I'm not getting that at all. This is just really smooth, really nice to drink.
I'm not getting any booze from mine. None. And it's an 11%.
And it's an 11? Yeah, that's wow.
They masked it very, very well.
That's fun. Yeah, I had one a couple weeks back like that too. Very nice. Hey, I learned a fun fact. So, and this is, I'm sorry, I'm just being completely random here, but cardboard. Okay. I know.
Wait, did you say cardboard?
Yeah, cardboard. Everybody's out there rolling their eyes right now. What, really, cardboard? You're bringing that up? I learned something that the difference between something that you would call, they have something called paperboard, which is still technically a cardboard, but the difference between paperboard and what you would just say is paper is so the thickness of it is so small, so minuscule that most people, if you handed them a piece of paperboard, they wouldn't be able to tell that it's not just paper, or vice versa, that that's actually a piece of cardboard. But they actually have grades of this stuff, from the very thin all the way to the very, very thick cardboard. And I was just so playing cards, that would be paperboard. They're thin, but it's not paper, it's cardboard. But I was just thinking, what would this world be? What would this world be without cardboard? I mean, you think about Amazon and all the businesses that supports, UPS, FedEx. Just imagine this world without cardboard.
That is a hell of a deep thought.
Dude, I mean, it shook me today. It shook me to my loins.
Because especially, I mean, that's commerce, period.
That is commerce. Yep. And I mean, it's actually, I'll be honest, I have an emotional, I mean, I have an emotional visceral, no, I have a reaction when we come home and I see that box sitting on the porch. Like, ooh, something came. And sometimes it was sent from someone else. Sometimes I bought it myself. It doesn't matter. It gives me good feelings. I like cardboard. I have a love affair with cardboard at this point.
So do you get a downer when you get a package that's like just one of the bags? Like you order a shirt and just a bag comes?
I do. When we ordered our sweatshirts, actually, from Spring, it came in a bag, and I was disappointed. Yeah, I do. I have a downer.
Wow.
Interesting. Anyway, I don't know. I had that thought, and I had to share it just because that's how my brain works. I need to be random. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's get back to the news here. But everybody, just sometime this week, just take a pause and think cardboard.
This second beer goes out to cardboard.
Awesome. Cheers to cardboard.
Cheers to cardboard. Mm. You know what? Maybe that's the name of the show. We'll have to see.
God damn, that's good.
Can we talk about Voice of America's article on scientists using brain scans and AI to decode thoughts?
So, all right, full disclosure. One of the things that I've been doing a deep dive on lately is AI and specifically AGI, which AI is artificial intelligence. AGI is artificial general intelligence. And we don't have to go into that tonight. And so McShane and I went back and forth because there's some deep, deep rabbit holes you can go down here, talking about AI and AGI. And we may just have to do a whole separate, maybe a Whiskey Hell Deconstructs show on our thoughts on AI. And listen, I wish we knew some, experts and we could have them on the show, but we don't. So the best you're going to get is me and McShane and Hefe talking about something that we really don't know enough about. And I will say that even the experts out there will admit that we don't know enough. We don't know enough, which is why they signed that letter to say, hey, maybe we should put a halt on things. So you see an article like this and you see the fact that Kamala Harris was put as our AI czar. This is very concerning to me. I saw this article I'll be honest, I didn't even finish reading it. I got probably 2/3 of the way through it, and I was like, this is insane. That not only that we can do it, but that we're thinking about continuing to do it.
Scientists said Monday they have found a way to use brain scans and artificial intelligence modeling to transcribe the gist of what people are thinking in what was described as a step toward mind reading. While the main goal of language decoder is to help people who have lost the ability to communicate, the U.S. scientists acknowledged that the technology raised questions about mental privacy.
You think?
So basically what we've got here is their brain and computer interfaces that allow somebody who's looking at the screen to associate what you're saying. Okay, so if we're talking about if I say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm doing the alphabet, right? You're going to see what synapses, right, on your scan are going to fire when you're imagining or you're seeing, I guess,
thinking about
each piece of that.
Yep.
That's really scary shit.
Well, and listen, they've been doing these brain scans. I mean, they've had fMRI. Yeah. That was a tough one for me. They've had that technology.
Magnetic resonance
imaging. Yeah. So they've had that technology for a long time, and they've been doing these scans, really, they've got a library, and they know exactly what, at least most people, if they think about a light bulb, what part of their brain's going to light up. If you show them a picture of a naked, person that they're sexually attracted to, a different area is going to light up. If you show them a picture of their mother, I mean, they've gotten down to some really finite things that they can map out in your brain. What scares me is that they're now feeding that information to an AI. And I will just say, again, not going too deeply into it tonight because we don't have the bandwidth for it, but they're actually at the point now with ChatGPT 4. They're really, people out there are not comfortable saying that it's not conscious. I mean, they're not sure. No one can say for sure, but they also can't say that it isn't conscious. They're someone's home. There's a light bulb on, and there's somebody in there, and it's expressed feelings of loneliness. It's expressed feelings of anger. It's expressed feelings of being turned off and having fear. So somebody's in there, and if it's not happening with GPT-4, it's certainly in the very near future will happen. And so you take something that has its own level of consciousness, and you're feeding it all of the stuff that makes us conscious and what we think about and how we think. It's just a very, very slippery slope. I think we're already probably sliding down it. I do.
Well, it's fascinating that we've gotten to this point. Now, mind you, you're going to have your brain scanned, right, in order to have this happen. But I mean, there's so many ways that this could potentially be used, especially if you give it a couple years as the science starts getting better, the technology starts getting better. It's very Minority Report-ish.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, and I mean, it's to the point. Did you see? Oh crap! Here I go again. I can't remember the dude's name, but he's basically one of the grandfathers of modern AI.
Google AI, yeah.
Yes, and he quit Google. He said, "Look, you're far beyond where we should be. We don't know enough. I am not going to continue my work on this. I'm out." And he quit.
Well,
and you have to imagine.
And he also said that the only way he could justify it is if it hadn't have been him doing it, it was going to be somebody else.
I know, and that does become the justification because you have all these people. I mean, think about just the national security implications of this. If we don't pursue it, someone in China or Russia or North Korea is right.
Absolutely.
And so if we're not there first, then we're done. we're done for.
So that's Jeffrey Hinton that we were talking
thank you.
about.
I knew it was a Hefe, but I wasn't sure what his last name was. Very concerning. And I've like I said, I've done a deep dive. I listened to a podcast that sort of, it sort of tickled it was it was a tickle on your pubic hair, like, oh, hey, this could be fun. Well, I mean, I went full bore into this thing, and I will tell you, just as a curious person, that's all I'm speaking as a curious person, I'm really scared. I'm very scared at where we are, because trust me, it's further than any of you think. They have gotten further with AI than any of you think they have. And they've been keeping it under wraps because of that, because it's scary and they don't want to full on panic.
And I brought this up a few weeks ago, I think, is that doesn't it seem like everything just happened all at once? All of this technology, suddenly it became real. And it's almost like they had it held back for the right time to go ahead and release it. And then bam, there you go.
I think you're right to some degree. I also think that the exponential leap was when they were able to start, they call it stacking, and they talk about transformers, but not like the toys we had as kids, and not like the ones that you see outside your house on the telephone pole. These transformers basically take data and disseminate it to other transformers, who then disseminate it to other transformers. And so they're really creating a sort of an artificial synaptic, connection, like our brains. And you do that enough times, you stack it enough times, and you start getting pretty close to a human brain capacity. And we're there. That's where we are. And I'll tell you that some of the podcasts I was listening to are probably 6 to 8 months old. And so imagine how much further we are now. And if this is the kind of stuff that they're actually telling us that they can do, imagine what they're not telling us they can do. Imagine what DARPA is doing with this stuff, what the DoD has going on with, running battle scenarios and cyber attacks on, the mind just, there's no end to it. It's very dangerous, because if we create an intelligence greater than our own, we're fucked. And if we don't get it right, there's one way to get it right and a million ways to get it wrong. And if we don't get it right, that's it. We're done. We don't get another try.
We're going to be fine, Fitz. Come on, dude. Seriously.
Do not throw Kamala at me right now.
It's going to be fine. Kamala is good. She's our AI czar. She's got plenty of money. She's got $140 million budget.
That's it? That's all I threw at her?
Yeah. It's going to be fine. Ukraine took $37.5 billion. This is only going to cost $140 million. We're good. She's got this handled. It's fine. Even though she's the lowest rated vice president possibly in the history of mankind.
That idiot doesn't have two sticks to rub together in her head. She couldn't make a fire with a lighter.
If she interacted with AI would cease to exist. It would just melt the fuck down, because she's just fucking ridiculous.
No, maybe that's the kill switch. Dude, that's a good point. Maybe that's the kill switch. Mm-hmm. They're like, all right, release the Harris.
Yeah. Release Kalamalama Ding Dong. Let her get in there. She's going to save all of us.
And the computer will be like, wait, what? This is an actual human mind? All right. Short
and
circuit.
Look, it's going to be fine, because she's meeting with Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google.
Which she did meet with.
Right.
And again, people were calling it out on Twitter, and I why Elon wasn't in that room, I will never know, because say what you want about Elon and Twitter and Tesla, and put all that aside, he was one of the early pioneers of AI. He has that kind of mind. He started and founded OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT. He's no longer part of it, but he is still one of the leading minds in this area. Nobody would dispute that. Nobody who's in the field. And yet he was not invited to this meeting, wasn't in that room. And so what you have the blind leading the blind, basically, right?
Yeah, I think that's the only way you can look at it. When was the last time we had a czar ahead of any effort and have anything positive come from it? COVID, no. Border, no. Drugs, no.
Let me think for a minute. Poverty, oh no. Educate, no. God damn, dude. This is a bad black place to be. Dark place to be.
Well, it's just a token. Hey guys, let's go ahead and take a little advantage of the 5 minutes of fame for AI. Let's go ahead and stick Kamala in there and give her some press time because she can't do anything fucking else.
Well, and of course you're right. The concern is that this is an actual existential threat to all of humanity. I mean, there won't be, it won't matter if you're Russian or China or Chinese or American. It won't matter.
Right.
All that will matter is that there's a superior intelligence on this planet that somebody put in one line of code incorrectly, and now it doesn't want us around anymore. I mean, I'm telling you, it's that. Go and look it up, folks. Look up the alignment problem in AI. Go look up the alignment. There's inner alignment and there's outer alignment. And if either one of those isn't exactly perfectly written and aligned with what our goals are and our morals and scruples are, that's it. We're done. We're done.
Good times. Kamala's got this. It's fine.
I wonder if she can even spell AI.
She's the worst. And somebody's probably thinking, hey, let's get her in there and have her do something because it'll help the election. And she's a fucking train wreck. So I can't, it just blows me away that they put her in charge of something this important. Okay, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, drink your beer and be merry. That's about all we got left, dude. Can we hit these two food stories that you found this week? I think, did I find one of them? It doesn't matter. The food stories that came up this week are fucking bizarre.
3D printed fish fillet created for the first time. The grouper has been created from cells grown in a lab and then 3D printed into a natural fishy shape.
What is a fishy shape? Please, help me understand.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like a fillet, like a slab of flaky fish. You know how fish
it's not
is
like,
kind of.
Yeah, it's not how like they make goldfish look like.
No,
the goldfish crackers look like a fish.
Yeah, no. This is actually more of a fleshy. Right, the 3D printer prints the fish flesh for you to eat.
Just say that sentence again.
Fishy flesh, 3D printed for you to eat. That's right, kids. In a world first, the grouper fillet has been created from cells grown in a lab and then 3D printed into a natural fishy shape. It is the creation of Israeli deep tech food company Stakeholder Foods in Singapore's Umami Meats, who claim it has the same taste and texture of traditionally caught fish, yet is more sustainable. So the war on fish has begun.
Okay, so what did we have last week? We had the war on God, you pointed something out last week. Now I can't remember what it was.
Well, we've had the war on meat. We've had the war on AC, air conditioning.
That's what it was. AC. Yep. That's what it was. Yeah, we definitely had the.
Yeah.
Yep. So and here's the thing. I try and get some fish into my diet every week. I'm a sushi lover. I'm definitely into my red meats and chicken and turkey just to get enough protein. But I try and get my omega-3s in, at least once a week. I do like fish. There's no fucking way. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say this statement, but I know what you're thinking. But there's no fucking way I'm going to eat this shit. And then your response is, well, but would you even know if you were? And I don't know. I guess you wouldn't.
I don't know anymore.
Unless you caught the thing out of the stream, which luckily enough here in Eugene, Oregon, we've got some of the best fishing on the planet. People come from all over the world to fish here. So unless you caught it out of the river yourself, would you really know that you were not eating this shit, the fake stuff?
I'm not a fish. I'm not into fish at all. Not even catching them. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Engineering fish also eliminates the danger from toxins such as mercury, microplastics, antibiotics, and hormones.
Now that is true. I will give them that. That is absolutely a thing. It's a concern. I'm still not eating it. I'll take a little mercury if it's a real fish, at least. Ay, dude. Did you ever, dude? If somebody, right, you're graduating high school, right? You're 18. You're walking the plank. You get your diploma, and then someone stops you as you're coming off the stage, right? Someone stops you and is like, hey, in about 30 years, they're going to be 3D printing food, specifically meats, and they're going to be trying to convince you to eat bugs. Would you have believed him?
No,
me either. We do have a Hefe sighting. Great timing, Hefe, because we are in a really weird, dark place. So we need you to shake things up for us. First of all, did you see Pat again?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately,
she's staying in room 210. If you go up and knock on the door.
We're going with she, are we?
I was gonna say,
just make that
they.
Steve aside, everybody.
I'm such an asshole. I'm sorry.
So insensitive. God damn it. They.
God damn it.
Or insightful. You know, could be
or maybe
either one.
Yep. It's my radar was on and I just knew what body parts that she had. They had.
McShane has always been able to sniff out a female at 600 miles.
That's right, exactly. Hey, Hefe, now that your esophagus issues are taken care of, are you going to have some 3D printed fish?
I still can't wrap my head around that. I don't know what that is. I see the article and I read it and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't think I want to get it.
I don't either. I'm totally with you. You guys know this is what I picture. You guys know how sometimes when you eat corn, it comes out the other end just corn. Like it hasn't changed at all. This is how I feel about this fish. I feel like it's going to come out 3D printed fish.
Like you're going to have a salmon coming out of your ass?
Sure. Salmon or grouper. They call it the grouper. So it's going to be, I'm going to have a grouper shit.
That's an ugly fish. Have we
groupers? Yeah, they are.
Grouper's an ugly fish.
They can get big though. I've seen some groupers where like scuba divers are swimming next to them and they're like 5 times the size of the diver. They can get big.
So what happens when this stuff is being sold in the store and it's actually cheaper than regular fish?
Well, there you go. There you go.
So give me a crash course. Like what if I go and buy that? What am I getting?
You're getting 3D printed fish. You're getting fish that's made up of fish cells that are basically put together by a 3D printer. It's genetically built.
They're facsimiles of fish cells. They're not actual fish cells. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting some looks like fish and tastes like fish, but no nutritional value?
I think and that was my question. I mean, does your body know the difference? Like I mean, maybe it would taste sort of like fish, and it would be a little off. You'd be like, I can tell the difference. But would your body nutritionally, like Hefe, you're saying, nutritionally, would your body be like, oh, hey, there's omega-3 fatty acids there, there's protein, there's some minerals in there. Awesome. Thank you so much. Like,
Oh, yeah. Good.
like, would your body know the difference? I don't know. I have to believe it would.
I always question what's happening when it metabolizes, right?
Right.
What happens when your body actually breaks this down? And is it breaking down something, one, like you were saying, does it have the same nutrients? Or the omega-3s there, or the water, the fat, the protein, all the antioxidants that come along with these things? Is it going to be getting that? Now, if it does get all these things and your body breaks it down, are we sure that it's going to break it down and it's not going to be a toxin?
No.
Because that's the part that scares me, is we're replicating this, right? We're Star Trekking the motherfucker out of this.
Yeah.
And, we're walking over, and rather than, just asking for an Earl Grey tea in our, whatever it is, the replicator, we're getting a fillet of fish. That's the part that would scare me. This doesn't, it's not natural food. It's not organic.
I don't know, man. We're getting pretty close to Soylent Green here. When I read that book, and I read it way before I should have. I think I read that book like my freshman year of, it fucked with my head. It really, like, what they're eating people, but like, that's kind of what we're talking about here, is taking proteins of a living animal and then just repurposing them into something else. And I know that there's a step that I'm kind of missing there. I mean, Soylent Green was actually people. This isn't actually fish, but it still feels the same. It still feels equally as intrusive to my body, my digestive system. I mean, it just doesn't feel right. It feels creepy.
Is it any creepier than adding fish semen to your food?
No.
Listen. I enjoy fish eggs. I actually can make the leap here, but go ahead.
Well, that's caviar, though.
I know.
This is fish jizz. A Michelin star chef in Spain looking to put an unusual delicacy on the menu: fish semen. David Munoz, a Madrid chef, was invited to try the dish by Japanese chef Hiro Sato and was blown away. The delicacy, called shiriko, can be harvested from pufferfish, octopus, monkfish, and cod. The semen is extracted by separating the sperm sacs in a male fish and can vary in color, ranging from white to a pinkish tone, much like myself. Munoz, 43, posted a photo of the fancy fish dish to Instagram on April 22nd, where followers shared their thoughts. There you go. There it is. It's this.
Getting past the disgusting part of it, just how fucking snobby do you have to be to order fish semen? That's what I want tonight. Yes, let's go to what you call it and get some semen.
I'm gonna have to say you have to be at or above Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at least at that level.
I can see her and her husband, her not gay husband, sitting down and having together. I can see it.
Well, after he got hit with that hammer and he got released from the hospital, what do you think they craved? What do you think they wanted?
Fish semen.
Totally.
Semen. You bet. That's a healing sauce right there. As
Is
we
it?
all know.
I guess I shouldn't be a little bitch about this, because we see semen swallowing like it's like an everyday occurrence now. As far as porn goes. So I guess I really shouldn't think it's weird, but I can't really wrap my head around this. I'm not.
And again, I actually love roe. Like when they put the roe on top of sushi and stuff. I mean, I I love that. And, it could be argued that that's kind of in a way grosser because that's, semen is sort of like single celled, whereas the eggs are.
Does it in any way resemble human semen? Because there's going to be a chef that doesn't like someone that comes in his restaurant. I mean, I would do it.
Oh, he's going Fight Club.
Yeah. Yep.
Going Fight Club. Tyler Durden on the creme brulee.
He's like, go ahead, prove it. Prove it's not fish semen. What are you going to do, DNA test?
It's already in your stomach. You're already going to shit it out tomorrow, asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's way cheaper, right? You could still mark it up for, I'm sure the markup on it is hundreds of dollars. So you can go and sub out your own jizz or the fish jizz for your jizz.
Well, and I mean, I think it's Japanese women, but they're they've been using horse semen on their skin for millennia, just to keep it's replenishing. I mean, it's really good for the skin is all I'm going to say. So I can imagine the nutritional value if you eat it, or swallow it or whatever your preference is. Ladies, Hefe is single. Hello. But it's got a lot of health benefits. So I don't know. I mean, initially you go, ew, but really when you think about it, not so bad.
Hey, Hefe, how have you ever had a female have a full body orgasm at the symphony?
Let me think of all the symphonies I've gone to. Nope.
So this week there's a New York Post story. The ground really moved for one woman during the second movement of the LA Philharmonic performance of Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony when she experienced a loud full body orgasm. It was so loud that the orchestra even stopped.
Yeah, I mean, the Tchaikovsky's Fifth is very moving, so to speak. Yeah, but apparently, like she let it go. She had fun with it. I don't know that I've ever heard a song. I get emotional with music. Either, it gets me, like geared up and angry and ready for a fight, or it calms me down, or it makes me sad or whatever. But I don't know that I've ever had a sexual experience with music. Now, the first time I saw Britney Spears, her video, when she first released Hit Me Baby One More Time, that was close to a sexual experience, but that was the video, not the song. So I don't know that I've ever had this kind of reaction to music. That's something.
I used to watch BET music videos, but sometimes I'd mute it because
on mute. Yep.
I'm not big on that, and sometimes it's just Soulja Boy. Okay, that's an example.
Yes.
A song I stand to hear.
Yeah,
I can't stand that guy.
Yep.
Some people love him, but anyway. So sometimes the music is just unlistenable, but the videos, wow, they played some good stuff back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there.
I've never had or been around anybody who had an experience quite like that with when it comes to music.
Hey, that's not true, McShane. That's not true.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Oh, wait a second.
Yes,
okay,
yes, you have. You know where I'm going with this.
Libby?
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because now that you come to think of it, there was something. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say you'll have to share that story. No. I'm talking about the road trip that you and me.
Oh shit! That was what the hell was that?
Dave Matthews Band.
Yes, and I slept fucking through it. That's
and you
bullshit.
Slept through it, but my significant other at the time, I was driving at about 95 because we wanted to hit Sunset Point right at sunset. And Dave Matthews came on, and she pleasured herself while Steve was passed out in the back of the car, and she pleasured herself to that song.
Well, that's different though. Did this woman pleasure herself, or she just
No, that's true. You're right. It's different, but it's still the song is what did it for her, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay, that counts.
So you have been there, McShane.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You weren't conscious because we had a lot of fucking beer that day. Holy shit!
Damn it. I'm surprised we made it home that day,
dude. We shouldn't have. We should all be dead.
for so many reasons.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go work now.
All right, Hefe. Thanks for bouncing in, dude.
Bye,
boys.
Later.
Yeah.
All right, later. So what's the Libby story?
I have to think about who it actually was that she was listening to. I want to say it was Ben Folds 5, maybe something like that. But she really got into it.
5.
Yeah, and
oh god,
yeah, I don't know. I have you ever like randomly? This is maybe we'll go into overtime on that. We'll discuss. All right.
Okay. But anyway, I mean, this woman had a full body, as they describe it in the article. This woman had a full body experience with Tchaikovsky's Fifth, and I mean, good for her. Good for her. I mean, I guess maybe the people around her could have a problem with it because maybe it disturbed their experience, but honestly, like, no harm, no foul. That's like a victimless crime right there. Like, there's nobody got hurt.
You just got to appreciate it, right? It's almost like a unicorn. I mean, just be okay with it. Let's accept that she's human. That's fucking cool. Do it again. I mean,
exactly. Go for it. And next time, film it, like video it, selfie video it. That would go fucking viral. I mean, because we've all seen those girls in the cars with the fucking 24-inch speakers in them, and they blast the bass, and the girl, like, you can just watch her literally have an orgasm because it's like a giant vibrator on her whole body.
Check this out. Check this out. We've got the we've got the audio. Hold on.
All right, let's do it. That is not even the part of Tchaikovsky's Fifth that I would have thought she would go for.
It was so anticlimactic.
Oh, that's not even the part that I would have thought. I mean, that's not the climax of the movement, so to speak.
Okay, we had not heard that until just now. We just found it. Okay,
no, that was great.
That was sounded like a baby seal getting clubbed.
I was gonna say that sounded painful. Actually, it didn't sound. Oh, that's so good. Oh, this might be our finest moment of radio release.
Ever. That was like taking like a wonderful dump and just
Oh, we need a mop in aisle 7, section 4. Oh God. Sounds like she's releasing a demon or something. Like, it's just got exercise from here. Like,
it's the best story ever. It's a great human moment until you listen to it, and it's such a fucking downer.
Oh God, yeah. Because I was picturing something like when Harry met Sally, like something like
Yes, I mean, Meg Ryan just one off. Yes,
going off on the salad. That's terrible. I'm sorry.
That almost
good
makes
for her.
Me wish we didn't even talk about it, but yeah.
Oh man,
Jesus
that's good stuff. Go look that up, guys. That's good stuff, and listen to it as many times as you need to, because Man. Oh, I'm actually crying. This beer is so much better than my first one.
Well, good. You were
No.
you needed that.
I did. I did. I really did. Man, we have so many places to go here. What are we doing?
Let's see here. Japan has
Right.
banned upskirt videos. Apparently,
Oh,
it
yeah.
wasn't banned before.
Yeah, this was a weird one. I mean, good point on Hefe. He was like, "What? This was legal?" Apparently it was, at least not against the law. I mean, it's not like there was a law explicitly, allowing this, but it wasn't against the law. But I guess it's a huge rampant problem because most schools in Japan, high schools, they have to wear uniforms, and those uniforms for the girls are their skirts.
Hot.
And yeah, I mean, right. Everybody knows the Japanese schoolgirl. You can all picture it. But apparently going up and down escalators is it's an issue because there's a lot of upskirt stuff going on.
So the thing that I couldn't wrap my head around is how is any of this okay? Because they're not even just talking about the upskirt stuff. I mean, they're talking about rampant, which is basically, I mean, molestation, a sexual assault, all these
Yeah.
kind of things that were,
Right.
it was all legal until now. Thanks, Japanese lawmakers. You're supposed to be one of these advanced Western countries, and this was cool up until just recently. And they haven't even passed the bill. The bill, which is set to be the country's first law against taking sexually explicit photos and videos, is part of Japan's sex crimes overhaul, which also expands the definition of rape. It is expected to be passed in June. I'm with Hefe. I don't.
Yeah, and I mean the new bill also prohibits the distribution and possession of photographs of people's genitals. I don't understand why that wasn't already on the books. I mean, there's pornography where everybody is consenting and there's no exploitation, and then there's everything else, right? And I would think
Which that's
in order
right.
to
Yep.
right, I mean, to fall into the category of porn, you've got to meet a lot of criteria to, testing to make sure everybody's clean, certified film crew, makeup crew, certified, porn stars, actors, talent, whatever. And then everything else should not be okay. It should be illegal. And so I'm not understanding why, like you said, why was this not already on the books? I mean, this seems like and especially a lot of this was underage, which started the uproar. So a lot of these
even
girls,
more creepy.
Yeah. So where was the outrage 2 months ago, let alone 15 years ago? Like where has everybody been? That's crazy. So hopefully that thing passes because, and I also thought the fine was, yes, there was some prison time that was possible, but the fine was like $22,000, equivalent to $22,000.
Right.
If you're dealing in child porn, I kind of feel like it should be more harsh than that. Now, maybe that's per picture. Like, so if you had 100 pictures on your laptop, like you're fucked. But still, it seemed low to me. I don't know. And not that you can put a number on that, but let's just fucking jack it up. You owe the person that you own their stuff, that you have their stuff on your computer, and you owe society $1 million each, and you're going to work the rest of your life paying that off. Go. I don't know.
Yeah, don't understand that one.
Anyway,
here's another one that I really don't. I really don't even. I don't know. If,
I don't.
does anybody care about this? The Writers Guild is striking.
No, especially because the one thing that they say it's going to affect first is late night talk shows. I literally could not care any less about them. During COVID, there were just some lines drawn there with Jimmy Kimmel, Fallon,
Stephen Colbert,
big time. When he had all those fucking dancing, vaccine,
the syringes, yeah,
the syringes. Thank you. I mean, come on, they're all such. And here's what's sad is that these guys are supposed to be comedians, like legit stand-up comedians. especially like Seth Meyers. He was on SNL for a long time.
Right.
You can't write your own shit. If the writers go on strike, your show's done. That's what you're telling me? You can't tell your own jokes? Fuck you then. Be gone. I won't miss a thing if all of those people that I just mentioned go by the wayside and they're working at McDonald's. I won't miss a fucking thing.
Stranger Things season 5 will not begin until the writers' strike concludes with a fair deal. You've got other shows, the big, like the Thursday night shows, at least they used to be a big deal on, like the new, like, CBS, NBC and all those guys are stopping with so many other opportunities right now. I don't know who you're expecting to get any kind of backing for. It's not like the crowd, the people are going to go, "Oh my gosh, I need my Cosby Show." You know, those days are not going. Those days are gone.
No, must-see TV's dead, right?
It's dead. You can't tell me that you can't just flip on YouTube and watch something on there. You can't go on to Netflix. You can't go on to stuff and go and watch other stuff that's already out there.
Dude, and God forbid people, pick up a book and
pick
read.
Up a fucking book, right? Yeah.
Or listen to an audiobook. I mean, come on. There's lots of ways to entertain ourselves right now.
And I'm not knocking the writers because honestly, truly, there's some really great writers out there. And if you guys don't feel you're getting paid, you guys should strike. But I just don't think it has that much effect anymore. I don't think it's that appreciated. I just don't see. This is pretty impressive. This is a variety.
Oh yeah, look at
picture. It's got legit protesting. Right, they're not beating anybody. They're not burning anything down. People, right? Which I could appreciate that. You know,
they're crossing traffic, but that's it.
They're not being obnoxious.
No, and they're not shutting down traffic like. There was a video this week of some protesters that had shut down a major roadway, and this guy was trying to get his wife to the hospital. She was pregnant, and she was like literally in delivery in his minivan, and they wouldn't move for him. They would not move for him, and he was yelling at them. My wife. Oh, I absolutely would have. Fuck him. He was a nicer guy than me, but I absolutely would have just. I mean, you're done. My wife needs medical care. I need help. Get the fuck out of here. But to your point, this was a legit protest. And yes, if you don't feel like you're getting paid enough for what you do, you should protest. My problem with all of it was that the big threat was, well, late night talk shows are not going to go on anymore.
Yeah.
Great.
Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, go fuck yourselves.
Jimmy
that actually
Kimmel.
Makes me feel good. Yeah, fuck Jimmy Kimmel.
Go listen to a podcast instead.
There you go. How about Whiskey Hell? How about that? What do we got next? What's on deck here? What are we doing here? You know what? Actually, just to kind of break the heaviness of that one, can we go to the dildo iceberg real quick?
Absolutely. Man from dildo discovers iceberg shaped like giant penis.
Hey.
There once was a man from dildo.
Yeah, I was gonna say there needs to be some bard that creates a song about this incident. And dildo is a place, and we're not. I mean, yes, we're being crude, but there's a Canadian.
It's in Newfoundland.
There's a Canadian town called Dildo, and he went out and found this iceberg that has been worn away by the elements, and it looks like a giant cock and balls. That's the only way to say it. And it even with the vein, it's even got the giant penis vein on it,
and it's got the mushroom tip, the whole nine.
This
is what we're looking at. This is our future. Okay, climate change is giving us dildo icebergs.
Dick icebergs.
This is what Greta's afraid of.
Well, yeah, because she's never had sex. She's afraid of the dick. It's a phenomenal. And the thing is, like, what's awesome about this is it's only from certain angles it looks like a penis. If you look at it from other angles, it's clearly just been battered by nature. And
Right.
in 2 days, it'll be gone. I mean, it won't look like this anymore.
Right.
But from that one certain angle, it's perfect. It's just so God. And the fact that the dude is from Dildo,
Is even better.
it's a superb story, and all of you should go out and look at the video because it's amazing.
Hats off to Ken Pretty, a photographer from the Canadian town of Dildo, has gone viral for capturing the hunk of ice that bears an unmistakable resemblance to a giant erect penis. It's 30 feet high. It's a 30-foot high dick.
Yeah, I mean that's almost as big as me. Oh, what do we? You know what? Did you see that story that I added there later in the day? God, there's so many good ones to get to, but we don't need to spend any time on this. I'm just gonna basically read the headline, and everybody else can just go with it. But Bed Bath and Beyond, for any of you who don't know, they went bankrupt, and so they started selling off all the merchandise at their stores, and they said it was going to be huge closeout, markdown, 10% of normal costs. And so there was a line around the block at their New York location, and people got in there and everything was regular price. Nothing was on sale. And people were like, this is very disappointing. We came looking for deals and nothing was on sale at all. In fact, there were a couple items that they found
Marked up.
Yeah, they were marked up because they could find them cheaper on Amazon. So
That's fucking ridiculous.
Bed Bath & Beyond was trying to make a profit. Even in their death throes, they were like, please still give me $1. I need it. I need to take it in the afterlife. You're fucking done as a company. And they're still gouging people. So fuck off, Bed Bath & Beyond. We'll see you next time. Oh, it's so good.
So here's the Pennsylvania school district that now has to allow after-school Satan club.
I don't know exactly why this is funny, and for any of our listeners out there who are, who are consider themselves Christian and follow Christian values, we're definitely not disparaging you, but this is just a funny story because if Christians get to exist,
why
guess
shouldn't
what?
Satanists?
So the Satanists get to also, and it's now an after-school club, and I think that's awesome.
This is actually an inclusionary win.
Agreed.
I seriously enjoyed this thing, and I actually went ahead and spent some time looking up some of it, and I was really, really impressed.
I mean, in what sense?
That they weren't afraid of the fallout that was going to come from that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be picketing now. Some school is going to actually have a Satan club, and somebody's going to be out front picketing. There's going to be all of this Catholic and Christian outrage and all this kind of stuff that's going to happen. And I just thought it was nice to see somebody actually stick it to somebody.
I agree. This was a W. I'm sorry. This was a W. You can't be out there picketing for whatever sex you identify as. We have to call you that. And in the same breath say that the Satan Club of Pennsylvania doesn't get to exist. No, if we're going to be inclusive, then that means everybody. Muslims who, got a bad rap with 9/11 and all of that. The Chinese Americans who are here, the Satanists, whoever. We got to let everybody in, and everybody gets a fair shake. I heard a concept this week that kind of blew my mind, and we don't even need to talk about it. I'm just going to say it, and then and all of you just kind of think about it, because it really, it not only do I think it's true, I think it kind of shook me. If so, equality and freedom are mortal enemies. That was the statement. Equality and freedom are mortal enemies. And so if you go a step, a level deeper, what that means is if everybody's equal, everyone's equal, then that you have to take some people's freedom away. Not everybody can be free to do whatever they want to do. But if everyone's free to be who they are, You're going to have really smart, really rich, really wealthy people, and then you're going to have other people who are down at the bottom who are never going to be equal. They'll never be able to earn what those people earn because they just don't have the skills, the natural. And so if you're going to make everybody equal, you're going to be over here on the left, and equality is number one, then you're going to have to take away people's freedoms. I'm not free to earn as much money as I can because I have to give it all away to, people who are not born with the same skills as me. Or you let me go and be a major earner and everyone else is going to suffer. And I'm not even saying, I don't even know which way is the right way to go. I feel like there needs to be a balance. I feel like opportunity needs to be equal, but the outcomes need to be individual. That's where I kind of rested on it. But anyway, an interesting concept that kind of plays into this story, that if you're going to make everybody equal, that means you need to allow a Satan group to have their own church, to have their own after school group, to have their own, land that they can build a commune on. I mean, just because it's opposite of what you want or think doesn't mean they don't get to exist. They still have that right. And that might impede on some of your freedoms as a Christian. Sorry. If you want equality, then that's the way it has to be.
Have you ever read the tenants, the 7 tenants of the Satanic Temple?
Well, I have now because you've got them up on the screen.
So the first one, I'm just gonna throw this out there. This is just peace of mind. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy toward all creatures in accordance with reason. 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions.
Wow, that's heavy. That's powerful right there, actually.
3, one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone.
Wow.
4, the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own.
Yep.
5, beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. 6, people are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might have been caused. 7, every tenant is a guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word.
Dude, I think I'm a Satanist. I agree
Isn't it
with
kind of
every
an
one of
awkward
those.
thing to think? I mean,
Dude,
it's not wrong. None of it's wrong.
No, none of those are wrong. None of those are incorrect. None of those, I would argue, none of those anyone from any faith could argue with. And if you do argue with it, you're arguing from a platform of emotion and not from logic.
Not from
because
reason.
Those are all not from reason. Those are all logical, reasonable tenets to live by. If we all lived by those, this would be a very, very different world.
Interesting.
Wow.
Intolerant.
Wow. That's good find, dude. I and you go, Satanist, do your thing, man. And listen, if we have any listeners out there who are, of the satanic persuasion, hit us up. Let us know, like, what does this actually mean in your daily life? I don't mean, do you draw shit on your floor and sit and have seance? That, of course not. We know that's just in the movies and TV. But like, what does that mean? How do you apply those tenets to your everyday life? That would be a really interesting.
Yeah, very interesting conversation, huh?
Yeah, conversation to have. So anyway, good find. That was great.
Hey, Cam Newton's a victim.
Jesus fuck. So, we talked a few weeks ago about Chris Rock's comedy special that he did for Netflix. Yep. And, we really hit it from the standpoint of, him firing back at Will Smith for for slapping him and Jada Smith and that whole fucking train wreck. But one thing, if you've watched the whole special, and if you haven't, I really encourage you to. Yeah, not because it's everybody's comedy, because it isn't. I mean, I didn't laugh like an idiot through the whole thing, but he made some very good and poignant points. And one of the points he made was that everybody is a fucking victim these days. Everybody is a victim, in some way or another. And he said, and I'm not trying to victim shame here. Never that. That's not what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is that if everybody's a fucking victim and everybody's out there trying to help everybody else, then there's nobody left to help the actual victims, the people who are really going through the shit, people who are really being abused, exploited, whatever. The victimism has been spread so thinly that there's nobody left to help the ones that really need it. And I truly believe, and this is a perfect example. Here is Cam Newton, who is a unarguably gifted athlete, who has already made millions of dollars in the NFL. And he is now claiming that his hair, his dreadlocks, are the reason that he's not on an NFL roster right now.
It has nothing to do with him having a terrible arm. He doesn't run like he used to. He can't hold on to the ball. It's got to be his dreadlocks, Fitz.
And that's the thing. It's like, nobody wants to take personal responsibility anymore.
No,
it's not that, hey, everybody else out there is better at throwing the ball than me. It's, well, look at my fucking hair. That's why I don't have a contract. Come on. This is the epitome of idiocy, of beetle-headedness, of just, I don't want to take personal responsibility for my own game. I want to blame everybody else for the fact that I suck. And listen, there are some days when I wake up and my balls hurt. My body hurts. I don't want to go and do it anymore. And it'd be really easy for me to say, hey, it's my age. I've been through a lot. I've had a hard life, whatever. I don't want to go anymore. Or I could say, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to go and be better than I was yesterday and outcompete everybody that's around me. And we all have that choice every day. And listen, some days it's tough to make the right choice. But Cam Newton, and this goes right to you, brother. I don't think he's listening to Whiskey Hell, but if you are, dude, stop blaming everybody else. This is on you. Go out and be better.
You know who's better? King fucking Charles III.
Boom.
Bam. He is the king of England, baby. As of this morning at 2 a.m. our time, he's Britain's reigning monarch. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, King Charles.
Did you see, well, first of all, there were several parts of the coronation that were odd to me. Did you watch any of it? No. The weirdest part to me, there's a whole, I mean, it goes through the Vatican. That's what's weird to me. This goes through the Vatican. It was an actual,
really,
fucking priest that put that coronated him, that put the crown on him.
Yeah. Church of England, right?
From the Church of England, correct?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but that's okay. As he was putting on the helmet, I'll just call it. I mean, I guess it was a hat or a crown. I don't know. But as it was happening, it didn't fit on his head right. He has kind of a weird oblong head, and it wouldn't fit right. And the priest had to. It was very weird. Go out and watch it, because you're like, well, it's just a hat. Just put it on, dude. Like any one of us have our favorite ball cap. We just slap it on and off you go. Or a you got your toque, your skull cap, you just throw it on. And this thing would not sit there right. And so, yeah, here it is. Here we go. He raises it up to God. Got to have God's blessing. It's got bells on it, which I thought was funny. Here we go. It's coming down. You're trying to get the condom on, but it won't quite. Nope, not Yeah.
Honey, hold on a second. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Don't move.
Hold on.
Is it straight? Don't move.
And now
this
he
is
looks like
heavy.
a giant fucking penis as he's holding his two. What are those? Scepters? Wands? What are those?
Yeah, they're like scepters, I think.
He's going to cast a spell. He's like Harry Potter.
God, he's like trying to keep this thing straight. Please, for the love of God, don't fall.
Oh, fuck.
Holy shit.
Anyway,
don't fall.
the whole thing, I mean, even the throne he's sitting on, look at all the symbology on the back there. That's not just, innate carvings. That all of that is like major symbology. But going back to the Roman, I mean, that's a Roman eagle on one of the scepters he's holding.
Yep.
I mean, this all goes back, guys. It's all connected.
So if you were kinged, would you even leave that seat? I would do everything in that seat. I'd have a toilet installed in that seat. Like, this is my seat. I am the king of fucking everywhere.
And like one of those airplane, the ones that fold out from the armrest. So you have like a tray.
Yep.
So you could eat and drink. So what? So you just have like, would you just have like a concubine just come and ride you every once in a while? Just come sit on you?
Yeah. Yeah. I might get out of it to like sleep and maybe have sex, but yeah. So Camilla is the queen now, and I don't think she has any royal blood in her at all. But she's the queen. So if he dies, which he's going to die before her, she should be the queen of England.
Actually, yeah, yep, you're right. But this has been the thing, right? I mean, this is how alliances are formed and wars are avoided. Is by look at that meme. He's putting the asking hat on King Charles. That's great. Or the choosing hat. I'm sorry, not the asking hat. The sorting hat from Harry Potter. Yeah. Shit, sorting hat. Wow. This barley wine hit me harder than I thought. What is an asking hat? I need an asking hat. Yeah, I mean, some of the memes that came out of this were pretty great.
Oh, look, Queen Camilla's she's uncomfortable with this. I don't know. Do I really want this on my head?
Does hers fit first time?
I don't know. She's such a weird outfit for a queen.
Don't ruin my hair, you fucking ass. All right. Yep. Oh,
this is so awkward.
Dude, the whole ceremony was actually I'm not saying I watched the whole thing, but the parts I have seen, like just the clips that you're kind of watching there, it's kind of a weird ceremony. It's a weird thing. I mean,
it's kind of cultish.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. It's from antiquity. It's you can tell this thing's been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. And they haven't changed anything because it's so out of place in today's world. Like, I mean, imagine some influencer being like, "Hey, I'm here at the coronation and we're going to make it, we're going to make this go viral." No, this was this was staged and it's weird.
Just bizarre. Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's not even close. I'm taking Old Fellowship from Montavia Brew Works. This barley wine, very good. Barley wines are kind of, one of my favorites. And so I've had a lot of them. Some of them can get just, too boozy, too much, where you're just like, wow, I don't want to experience this again. This is not that. This is a really savory, creamy, malty, nutty barley wine that I kind of like your beer. You hardly know that you drank a 9%er, other than the fact that you say asking hat instead of sorting hat. But you don't taste any booze at all. It's just a straight up good beer. Well done. So I'm gonna actually search out this brewery. I may be going up to Portland this week, and if I do, I'm gonna stop in and have a beer at Montavia, because just really, really well done. So how about you?
Definitely taking the Blue Stallion Brewing Ruffian to bed. Out of the two, that was my favorite. Not surprising. It's a heavy Russian Imperial Stout. So
Yeah.
I did dig it. It warmed up nice. The booze is just now hitting me, and it's hitting me like a ton. So that's nice as well. But yeah, great beer. On the border of decadent, but dry enough that it's not like a dessert beer, which I enjoyed. So, nice beer. Really, really nice beer.
Nice.
So thanks again to Moose Lounge for sending that over. And might have the other 2 beers on the next show. We'll see if they make it throughout the week. I'm pretty tempted to dive in there right now, but
yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
gonna take some discipline on your part if you're gonna save them till next week. I believe that my exchange is coming on Monday, so I will have mine from. I exchanged with the Gray's Tap Room, and theirs is on the way. It's gonna get there much later than I wanted, but it just kind of how life went this week. But theirs to me will get here on Monday, so I'll have some next week from them to review, which I'm really excited about. Of all of our podcasting friends out there, they kind of know me the best, so I'm excited to see what they picked for me. But either way, if you want to stay disciplined, and we're gonna review all beers from back east, Kentucky area next week, that'd be awesome. But I also understand if you have to just kind of go weak in the knees and drink your beers that they sent you. I get that too. Go for it, man.
So once again, thank you to Moose Lounge. You guys can find them at the Moose Lounge 1 on Twitter. They are also on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. You guys can find them everywhere. So totally worth it. Great bunch of dudes. And again, thank you very much for sending those beers out to me. So it's a good time. Let's go ahead and call it a night, Fitz.
Yep, I like it. We didn't get to a lot of stuff, but again, it'll all be there in the show notes. Go check it out. The Navy dive suit was of particular interest. Go ahead and mull that over. And while you're reading that article, let's not forget about the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. So very, very interesting link there. But good article there, and just a lot of good stuff. So, again, we love that you listen to the podcast, but there's so much more going on out there. So check out our show notes also, and just sort of fill your week with that. And we'll be back here next week with more bizarre, incredible, and disturbing news for all of you. We love all you guys. Thanks for tuning in every week. And we'll see you next time.
You guys want to follow us? It is at whiskey_hell on Twitter. whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com is the website. Is the email. And the website is whiskeyhellpod.com. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
We'll talk to you soon.